Welcome back to Skinny's Guitars. I have a really cool guitar for you today. It's a 2004 Gibson SG that Bill Nash did a conversion on in October of 2010. It was delivered to Cali Music in Santa Fe, and from what I could tell, the store closed back in the mid-2010s. So I've been doing some research on these guitars, and I found an article from Sound Pure Guitars in Durham, North Carolina, from October of 2010, the same year this was converted. It states, early this year, we were ecstatic to receive the first batch of serial number aged Gibson Les Pauls from Nash Guitars. After providing nearly half of these amazing relic guitars to guitarists around the world, we are pleased to announce the arrival of the very first aged Gibson SG serial number NGSG001. This is NGSG003. The guitar started its life as a 2010 Gibson SG 61 reissue. The same extensive vintage overhaul process is applied to the SG as the Les Pauls. I'm a bit surprised this started life as a 61 reissue, as it has the Nashville bridge instead of an ABR1. I'm not sure why they would change an ABR1 bridge out. Also, I've owned a few 61 reissues, and this guitar has a much chunkier neck than the typical reissue. So I put the guitar under a blacklight, and I couldn't find any filled-in pickguard holes. So I don't know how it started life as a 61 reissue. I think they would be pretty obvious, but I can't find any evidence of any filled holes. It also states they spoke to Bill's son, Britton, and asked him about the pickup configuration. And Britton explained, we tried many different pickups in hopes of finding the ideal setup for the SG, but it turns out the same coil tap pickup arrangement, DiMarzio Air Norton in the bridge and Blues Bucker in the neck we used in the Les Pauls works beautifully in the SG. In order to retain period correct appointments, they decided to keep the Heritage Cherry finish. In keeping the original color, they strip only the lacquer and apply amber and nitro with minimal lacquer checking for naturally aged appearance. They are calling the finish Faded Cherry, not to be confused with Gibson's Faded series guitars. The frets are dressed and leveled to achieve a perfect amount of fret wear for ultra smooth bends and access throughout the entire fretboard. This guitar still has the original fret nibs on it too. Britton also mentioned they were pleased with the outcome of the first SG. He stated, Bill and I played this guitar for about an hour each before packing up to ship. With feedback like that, you know that you want to get your hands on one of these. It's a true rocker, and Gibson, especially SG fans, will love. And I agree. I was actually really blown away by this guitar when I played it. The coil splitting is great, and the pickups they sound incredible in it. And it's so easy to play. You just don't have to fight with it at all. And plus, it's just super light. So Sound Pure also stated that the guitars flew off the shelves and that they haven't had any complaints from owners. I agree. To be honest with you, I've been looking for Nash SGs for a long time, and this is the only one I've ever seen come up for sale. I had to chase it down after I kept missing it being sold on Reverb. So the big difference between a Fender and a Gibson Nash guitars is that the Fender relics are not actual Fenders. They are USA made parts that are assembled and worked on. The Gibsons, however, are real Gibsons. Authorized Nash guitar dealers send their stock of new Gibsons to Nash for a full vintage overhaul. So Sound Pure Guitars had serial numbers 1 and 2 for both Les Pauls and SGs. So apparently my Les Paul number 1 came from Sound Pure. That's pretty cool. So let's take this apart and see what we find. Okay, I got the pickups out of the guitar. I took the pick guard off. I took the neck tenon cover off too. So we got an Air Norton in the bridge. There's no really way to tell that it's an Air Norton, but it is. We got the Blues Bucker in the neck. Just got a couple stickers on it, kind of tell you what it is. In the body here, it says SG 61. So it looks like it is a 61 reissue. Plus it's a one-piece body. There's no It's not a two-piece body like a lot of the standards are, so it's definitely a 61 reissue, so I'm not sure why he did this Nashville style bridge. And the neck, let's see what it says in here. Looks like it says HC with a Heritage Cherry. It's got a decent neck pocket here. It's a little rough. Here's the maple cap blocking off the truss rod. Yep, just pretty standard in the pickup cavities. Nothing crazy. All right, looking at the tailpiece, it's just a PW, typical Gibson stuff from the time period. Looks like a full weight. This is heavy tailpiece. Okay, I got the back plate off. Everything looks really good in here. It's very well done. You got the orange drop capacitors. I'm trying to see if I can make out any of the dates, but looks like a lot of them are covered with the soldering. Looks good though. Nice and clean. Everything looks really well done. Just give you a shot of the back of the guitar, see how it looks. It's got some pretty heavy relicking. Not a lot of heavy checking, but a lot of dents. Everything feels really smoothly though. The neck is awesome on this guitar. It feels great. Right here, 2004. It says BTN, Bill Nash, 2010. It's got the Gibson Deluxe tuners that have been relicked. Yeah, everything looks really good. Okay, let's take some neck measurements here. But first I want to point out the ambering over the headstock is really, I think it looks awesome. It's got some good checking on there. I really like the way it looks. Okay, let's start out with the nut. See how wide this is. I'm getting a 1.7. First fret depth, 8.2. 12th fret, 0.89. So it's a good sized neck on this guitar. I really like the way it feels. Just wanted to do a quick overview of the body. You can really see all the checking in there. There's some fine checking, there's some longer lines, some pretty big divots in there as well. Looks like they might have hit it with some stuff, to say the least. I really like the look of this rosewood fretboard. It's beautiful. The wood grain is really just nice in it. Frets are in great shape. Nobody really played this guitar. And like I said, I mentioned the headstock earlier, the ambering and the checking in it. It's definitely got some big divots out of it, to say the least. But this guitar plays great, it sounds great. Super impressed by it. This guitar also came with all the paperwork, which is great. It's a hang tag, faded cherry SG, Marzio Bluesbucker, Marzio Air Norton, NGSG 03, 1010, and SG 62 model. Comes with the cert as well, right there, 003, serial number of the guitar, and Cali Music. I've tried to figure out what that says right there, but I literally have no idea. Bill Nash, 10-20-10, and Britt Nash. Okay, I'm going to do a little sound demo on the Nash SG. I'm using a little different of an amp than I usually do. This is my 1965 Pro Reverb with 59 Jensen speakers in it. The volume's at 3, the treble's at 4, and the bass is at 5. And I'm gonna toggle between the coil splitting here. You'll see me moving the knobs anywhere between 8 and 10. So basically all the way up is coil split. Anywhere under 8 is just the regular humbuckers. I'm gonna start out on the neck pickup in the regular humbucker in the clean channel. Alright, now I'm going to throw a little boost in front of it. I'm using a Copper Sound Foxcatcher. I've got pretty much everything at noon. distortion in front of it. I'm using a JHS Pack Rat. I have it in turbo mode. I got the distortion about straight up, high noon.